All right, good morning. Glad everyone is here. We have the Heart Sangha Choir, hooray!
Listen to my song, listen to my singing,
listen to my song, the music of my heart.
listen to my song,
Listen to my song,
the melody that's ringing inside. If you really want to know me, listen to my song. Listen to my song. Listen to my singing.
listen to my singing,
Listen to my song.
listen to my song,
The music of my heart.
the music of my heart.
Listen to my song.
Listen to my song,
The melody that's ringing inside. If you really want to know me, listen to my song. When I'm feeling sorrow, when I'm filled with fear, when I'm overcome with joy, music makes me smile. Music brings a tear. Listen to my song. Listen to my singing.
listen to my singing,
Listen to my song. The music of my heart.
the music of my heart.
Listen to my song.
Listen to my song,
The melody that's ringing inside. If you really want to know me, listen to my song. If you really want to know me, listen to my song.
Thank you for that. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. I'm a practitioner here this morning with Charlie and with our wonderful. I knew that. No, it just kind of went that way. Okay, it was Shirley Wade, and we're here to be in service to you. We'll be hanging around up here if you would like a prayer after service. And right now, I would like to remind all those who are watching around the world that we are here to inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. And I think 23 is a good year to really do that in a deep way. So I invite all of you to take advantage of all the classes and things that are going on. Right now, I'd like to invite the children forward. Do we have any children today? Calling all children. Okay, well, teachers, take a break. That'll be a nice little break. The cottage is being worked on, so they were going to have to meet in the social hall. So anyway, we love them. All right. I'd like to thank everyone who got here to be in service this morning. And we have our sound team, ushers and greeters, and kitchen cookies, and I know the choir got here early and was practicing, so that's really good. And Judy's here for the piano. So we have a wonderful team that is in service to you every Sunday.
And our dear Joanne is here.
Come on, Joanne.
Yay!
All right. If you have a cell phone, we'd appreciate it if you would turn it on airplane mode. That would be really nice. And we have some announcements. Charlie, come on up.
Good morning. So hopefully not just people in the sanctuary hear me, but those online. But next Saturday we want to pull as many people together as we can to help with the cleanup around the center. We've been delayed because of the blessed rain, in terms of picking up our leaves, but we have quite a few to go around the parking lot and in the yards and do a general cleanup. So if you want to join us next Saturday, we invite you, and you can just talk to Roy, Diana, or myself, and or let Jane know, but we'll make sure to contact you if there's going to be a change, but regardless, we're going to be here, with the trailer. So we would probably start around 8:30 and try and be done by 11:30 or 12. So I invite you. And also, just a general invitation to join the landscape team or the building team that Dick Sorensen has. So there's a lot of work to be done around the place to keep it looking pretty and in good shape, and we just would love to have you. Thank you.
Is Phoebe in here? Phoebe's not in here. Come on up. Some of you may not know, Phoebe has been a longtime member of the center, and at one time was the choir director, weren't you? But she's gone on to other wonderful things. Glad you're here.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be having a book signing for Soul Biz, and these are short stories, inspiring words from people's experience for you if you're growing your healing business or your soul biz, and also stories that were inspiring while people were working in their business to help with our lives. And so I'd love to have you join, grab a book. All the sales, 100% of the sales from this book and another book and my CD all goes to the church. So I think of it as donating to the church and getting a book along with it. So I'd love to have you for this book signing, and I'm also giving a talk about using your voice to grow your healing business. And if you don't see yourself as a healer, I invite you to consider that you are a healer, because we all heal ourselves. And of course, we say kind words to other people that helps them. So you are a healer. And if you feel like, I don't really have a business, or I did that, well, you're still in the business of life. So there is something in it for you if you're being called to it. I'd love to have you join me. It's a free talk, just sharing my wisdom about using my voice. And if you'd like to get on the wait list for my next book, there's information on the back table for that as well. So I hope to see you later. We start at noon today. Thanks.
I always love new authors. They're so exuberant because they're so impassioned about what they do. Good to see you, Phoebe. All right, we have some announcements, and the men's group with Roy Wolfstead will be Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. here. And Connecting with the Hope Van. Is everybody familiar with the Hope Van? Anybody not familiar with the Hope Van? Okay, you know what it is. Okay, great. And we're going to be the last Friday of the month bringing hot dishes and some food for the homeless that visit the Hope Van for medical reasons and to sign up for medical assistance in many ways. It's at Breslauer Lane, on Breslauer Lane at the Social Services. It's Friday, January 27th, 8:30 to noon. Christy Carr is going to be doing, yeah.
Hi, I've been doing that Hope Van for quite a long time, and I wanted to just say that 12 units is a really long time. I mean, the people have eaten and have things to drink and checked out things for clothes and everything, and they're gone by 9:30.
Oh, that makes it easier. Okay, good, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, good to know. All right, and Christy Carr is going to be doing another beading workshop Saturday, January 28th. She put together some samples in the foyer in a nice framed box. So take a look at what people were able to do with the beads. It's Saturday, January 28th from 1 to 4. And then Christine Stewart, who's well known around the community for Healing Touch, and she's going to be doing 2 workshops, and they're training workshops, February 4th and 11th on Saturdays, 8:30 to 6, and more information and the cost is in your program. We're accepting new board member applications. We have 2 openings, 2 3-year term openings. So if you're interested in that, there's an application, or you can talk to any of the board members or Reverend Sue and find out more about it. It's a really wonderful place to be a volunteer in this center. The Safety Committee is going to be meeting next Sunday after service also, and we're having a practitioner meeting then, and we'll join with the Safety Committee, so we want to really understand all the things that committee has done. It's really quite an incredible program that they've put together. All right, I think that's about it.
Your shoes for Wednesday.
My shoes for Wednesday. Oh! You know, it's funny when you're so involved in something and you get up to talk and it just like took a left turn. We've been gathering shoes for the homeless count, which is Wednesday morning, and they're starting breakfast at 7:30. Yeah, and so yesterday I was thrilled to empty my garage of over 300 pairs of shoes. Paul didn't even notice. They were hidden. Anyway, 2 truckloads. It was just incredible. I'd like everyone who helped yesterday, please stand up, because it was not only interesting, it was fun, and you're still here. Thank you. Thank you. I think there was a bit of shock entering the social hall yesterday when everyone saw how many shoes there were. It was wonderful. Some real funky shoes, like, and then we had at least 24 single shoes. And so next time I have a call for shoes, we'd like a pair. You know, it was amazing because some of them were so cute. It's like, oh, where's the pair? Anyway, it was quite fun. But with all this help, we tagged and rubber band over about 300 pair of shoes in less than 2 hours. Wow. It was amazing. Now, I've got my truck full. I have enough room to sit and drive. And then I think Marty took a couple bags, and so did Janet. So anybody who would love to be at the Veterans Hall Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock to help me get them on stage at the Veterans Hall, I'd love to have your help. Anyway, I could probably ask some of the homeless people to help. I bet they would. Anyway, so that's Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. Anything else? I think that's it. So now we're going to have a reading. And Lori's here. Good, okay. And then Charlie will invite the bell. And Shirley will do the treatment. You're going to do the treatment too, no?
Yes, no, not yet,
No. No. Sorry.
Yes, she is.
She is? You're going to do the treatment?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. You know, when we're in, not yet. Give her the signals, Sue. And then Reverend Sue is going to do a talk on singing with gratitude. Now that's going to be fun. All right. Let's Let's have the reading, Lori, and we can move this along. Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15, 1929, and was instrumental in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination in public accommodations, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1964. Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself. Martin Luther King Jr. Affirmative prayer. Infinite presence, I surrender my smallness, my narrow view of myself, and I embrace the truth of oneness about my life, about all life. I give myself in service to the higher good. My hands and my heart are instruments of peace, compassion, and justice. May I be an avenue through which the divine pours itself into the world. Thank you, God, forever. Amen. A story that supports today's topic. In the Middle Ages, a citizen was arrested by one of the barons and shut up in a dungeon in the baron's castle. The citizen was taken down dark stairs, down, 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 by a ferocious-looking jailer who carried a great key that was a foot long. The door of the cell was opened, and the citizen was thrust into a dark hole. The door shut with a bang, and there he was. He lay in the dark dungeon for 20 years. Each day the jailer came, opened the big door with a great creaking and groaning, thrust a pitcher of water and a loaf of bread in, and closed the door again. After 20 years, the prisoner decided he could stand it no longer. He wanted to die, but he did not want to commit suicide. So he decided that when the jailer came the next day, he would attack him. The jailer would then kill him in self-defense, and thus his misery would end. He decided to examine the door carefully so as to be ready the following day. Going over, he caught the handle and turned it. To his amazement, the door opened. Upon investigation, he found that there was no lock on it, and there never had been. For 20 years, he had not been locked in, except in belief. From The Mental Equivalent by Emmett Fox.
Please join me as we sit here in the stillness. We sense our oneness with the divine and with each other, for we know there is only one loving God, one great source of love and wisdom. Each of us reflects the nature of God in a unique and wonderful way. Our hearts are open, our minds are clear, and we are in awe of the beauty that surrounds us. The rain that we longed for during our long, hot summer days has arrived, replenishing our water supply, and covering Mount Shasta with a beautiful blanket of snow. Suddenly, shoots of greenery are shooting up everywhere, reminding us that spring will be on its way and that it is God's pleasure to meet our every need with lavish abundance. We count our many blessings, knowing that Spirit's power, presence, wisdom, and love are ever available to us as we open ourselves to seek and accept these many gifts. With a sense of great peace, we release this word to the law, and in perfect confidence that our good is now made manifest, together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy. And Shirley, that was a beautiful prayer and really sets the tone, the awe, the beauty, the things that we're grateful for. And I appreciated, too, the choice of music. Thank you, choir. You got my back. So I was going to share, I love how Lori reads. I think she really brings to heart and to life the message is that really are beautiful takeaways from our time together. The idea of really celebrating who Martin Luther King Jr. was in our lifetime is always an important man to remember, and I loved to hear some of his words this many years later. But there's another story here, and I would like to just start off with this, because we're speaking of gratitude today. So there was a grandmother and her grandson that were at the beach playing, and he was in the water, and she was standing on the shore. Then all of a sudden, one of those horrific moments when the huge wave comes out of nowhere and crashes down onto the spot where her grandson was waiting. Well, the water receded and the boy was no longer there. He had been swept away. The grandma gets on her knees and begins to pray. She creates that mental equivalent of her grandson playing on the beach. And she lets go of all worry of his absence and fully accepts that he has already returned to her. She expresses her gratitude at his safe return and concludes the prayer by saying, "And so it is." A voice booms from the sky, "All right already." A moment later, another huge wave appears out of nowhere and crashes on the beach. As the water recedes, the boy is standing there, smiling, splashing around as if nothing had ever happened. The voice booms again. "There, are you satisfied?" She responds, "He had a hat, you know." I was amused by that. I appreciate hearing a little bit of chuckle. Because if that can be the way our prayers are. We can be praying and our answer is right before us. And then we say, "Yeah, but it had a hat." And then I'll be thankful. But as you have heard many times, Meister Eckhart from I think it was the 14th century, he was a mystic, a wise sage. And he had said, if the only prayer you ever said was thank you, that would be enough. Think about that as you sit with your meal in the evenings or in the morning, every meal. Gratitude. And just by saying thank you, that is enough as your heart pours that out. One of the great teachers of New Thought was Minister Eric Butterworth, and he wrote a beautiful book, Spiritual Economics, and it never outdates itself. But he reminds us that being grateful makes no real big difference to the divine, to Source. It only makes a difference to ourselves and our experience in the world. A grateful heart does not need something to be grateful for, he says. One can be grateful with the same spontaneity as being happy. I love that. It's just a flow. The spontaneity of being thankful like you're happy. It simply flows forth from within and becomes a causative energy. What does that mean, a causative energy? Something that I see that as something that ignites a fire of passion. It allows it to help co-create that desire of our intention of why we're praying in the first place. So revealing that grateful heart is reinforcing and enforcing your heart to know it's already so. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. There's old stories about the wise indigenous people that didn't pray for rain. They went up to the mountaintops and spent a moment just visualizing their feet in the mud, and then they'd walk down the mountain. They knew rain already was. They aligned themselves with Mother Nature in a way that enforced that power of good unfolding. So we allow this simple prayer to be one of knowing that it's already so. And by the time you're well into any form of prayer, affirmative prayer is what we appreciate here in this philosophy. Gratitude is what we're doing in that fourth step if we were to take the recipe of prayer apart. The fourth step you enter is just acknowledging what is Spirit to you, what is God to you. And then you allow yourself to see that, align with that, be with that for just that moment of intimacy, of connection. So it's not just a word. God is. And then you fill that with the flavor of your experience. You name that omniscient, omnipresent power of good. And then you move into the second step that we talk about. That second step where you start to really hone in on your personal connection to the divine. God is, I am. God is, I am. And you realize the power of that connection as you weave it together. And you open then to the third step by declaring that truth, just like the woman on the beach, just knowing her son was in whole and perfect condition. And you realize in that middle part of your prayer is the meat of the prayer that you are treating for your own consciousness to know this gift, this truth. It's where we look to see the wholeness, the love, the beauty, all the divine qualities that we speak of that God is. We start to align ourselves. If God is that and I am too, then these qualities are manifesting through my heart's desire right now. And I speak that into a knowing, into a realized acceptance. This is what you do when the practitioners, when somebody offers you to come forward, and if you need to sit with a practitioner, we'll set this in order for you in this powerful way of setting your prayer to good. And as you speak, you get more and more into the visualizing that the prayer is so intimate and so real. And then all of a sudden you have a feeling of gratitude, a sense of awe. There comes gratitude, that fourth step, which we talk about. It just spills forth in humble words of acceptance. It literally sings through you. It can't help it. And then you pause in the glory of what you have just done with this divine conversation, with this intention of prayer. And you release it. You totally let it go. That's the fifth step. That's why we say, it is done. And so it is. And you just let it move through you. Something that we talked about last week in a class. What is letting go? Sometimes it's so hard to let go of something. It's sticky. It stays on you. You thought you let it go. But there's a difference when you allow something to move through you. You see it, you visualize that grace moving through you. So that's the faith of knowing. Earnest Holmes' powerful words here weaves this all together. His words: recognition, God is; unification, God is and I am; and the realization. Those are the first three steps in prayer or treatment. When we speak the words of thanksgiving to God within, knowing before they ask, will I answer? There is something in this attitude of the thanksgiving that carries us beyond a field of doubt into one of perfect faith and acceptance, receptivity, realization, appreciation and gratitude and thanksgiving, he says, are the motive power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities of life. Now, if you ever hear Earnest Holmes, if you go back and look at old YouTube videos, they do have some of him portraying some of his talks. And he's one of those, very vibrant beings. This isn't said really softly. He gets out there and he is animated. And you can feel that, well, if he believes that powerfully, then I do too. Yeah, I'm with him. So take that opportunity. If you're a YouTube browser, check it out and just be amused at what he sounds like. He's a littler man. I always thought when he talked, I thought he was huge when I just heard audio. Okay, so being thankful is being appreciative, and it's good for you. So think about how we just spent November and December, right? Filled with gratitude, starting at Thanksgiving dinner, November and December, we're so thankful, families gathering, friends, gifts being given, gratitude for foods, just kept coming to us, right? Just kept coming. Oh, and we were giving, and who else is on my list? And we have this exhaustion of trying to make sure we have touched every person in our life experience that has touched ours. But then notice, as January creeps along, there might be a few of you, just a few, maybe only me, that is carrying some hint of others not being thankful enough for all you did. Not that I'm big into that, but I will notice that I think, did they get my gift? That's where it comes from. I haven't heard from them. Not so much I need all this glory piled upon me, but it gets me in a place of doubt. So I'll think, Or I'll think, never did get that one person something, Sylvia. And then you realize it's never too late. It's never too late to offer that gift. But you look at these things, so not being thankful enough. And then that gratitude song, that sense of what we were doing in the first place, that gets kind of a stuck record on something else, a little scratchy. And we might realize that what was once a song in our heart has turned to a little bit of a grumble or lack of faith or doubt. And we're off track. But let's stop right there. Because guess what? It doesn't matter. It's just a feeling too. It's just a feeling. Don't get hard on yourself. Okay, Sue, I won't. It doesn't matter because it's already over. And there's no right or wrong in how to give a gift. So there's no reason to twirl about it. There's just the idea of not taking it personally, but remembering why you gave in the first place, and let that sing through your heart, and remember, stay glad that you did what you did. And any of us that have ever been snagged by that idea, I realize we're probably brought up by parents like me, by a mother and father who made sure that as soon as you learned how to form your first letter, you were etching it out on a big giant piece of paper to say, thank you, Grandma, for my $5 or my $2. And they stood over you until you finished that. Year after year after year, it was instilled in you. So you're innocent. If you're wondering if that was hammered into you a little bit, my mom was very stern about getting that done before we could go play. But it was a good practice. It was one of those good practices, but not everybody had that upbringing. So don't expect it from everyone. Just know what it feels like when you have gratitude, when you receive something, what it feels like, how it floods your being. And just know that the person that you gave to or thought of with kindness felt that too. And there's no words that can ever make you feel less than, because that is the joy of giving. So we look at what that means is in the giving is love, right? That's where it is, right there. It's love. And you, the one that gave that, can feel it. So gratitude is then that love moving between us, around us, through us. You can't destroy it. You can't dismiss it. It just shows up and it fills us. So allowing yourself to deepen your conviction that we're guided always by a truth and a love that everything is experiencing and manifesting perfectly. Feel the steadfast power of your word. You know personally why you do what you do. So some things happen and that's stuff for you to move through. And you allow your consciousness to have more room and more power by letting go of something that is at all negative in any way, and just let it be filled with grace. And you expand yourself more to that loving sense of why you gave in the first place. But let's go even deeper. Another direction. What's going on inside of you around gratitude? What about this? What if someone overwhelms you with too much attention? Do you equally squirm there? Oh, no. I can't accept that. I'm speaking of Sylvia again. I'm kind of embarrassed. She brought in a huge tub of her nuts and bolts. I didn't share it, except with Charlie, and then he had it in the truck. And then I was like, where's my nuts and bolts? Lori so much wanted some, but I took it home. I was like, how embarrassing is that? So I hopefully made her some, or will you, Sylvia? But this attention that we get, the sense of, am I worthy to receive these gifts? Can we each see the way it is to stay in balance and even-minded when praise comes your way, when gratitude comes your way? Can you receive it with a sense of generosity of your own to yourself by saying, thank you, I accept that. Thank you. Instead of, oh, no. Please, pay attention to somebody else right now. And if you try to squeeze that out of anyone else, and just innocently because life is moving us by, because maybe somebody forgot to be thankful to you, you realize, I'm not going to play the game of being passive-aggressive and torture them until they acknowledge it. I'm just going to quietly follow it up, quietly and saying, did you receive? Did you receive what I gave to you? And it gives you another chance to honor that person with your appreciation. But if you're getting compliments and you're saying, oh, it's really nothing, listen to yourself. It's not nothing. When you give of yourself, it's everything. So look, as I talk about the song of gratitude through you, find if there's any hint of complaining or fault-finding in your mind towards another. That's all I'm pointing to. Because do you feel taken for granted? It boils down to that. Why do you? And can you have the courage to simply open the door and ask? Ask for what you need to receive. And hold your tongue. Hold your tongue if it's a habit way of responding by saying, oh, no, don't see me. Please see me, but don't see me, but please see me, but don't see me. What a game are you playing there with life? Just allow it to settle into pure gratitude. That's where all the good flows then. Just as you realize it is a continuity of flow. Emerson reminds us that for us to be aware of too much good staying in our hand. Too much good staying in our hand. And here's where Earnest Holmes backs that up by saying there is something in this attitude of thanksgiving that carries us beyond the field of doubt into perfect faith. I love this. Perfect acceptance, receptivity, and realization. It is of more value for you to express this gratitude for every value that you appreciate and benefit from. So Brene Brown says the gratitude, this is where I really align with what she's saying. It is an emotion. It's a feeling. And it reflects our deep appreciation for what we value in life, what we value, what brings meaning to our experience, and what makes us feel connected to ourselves and to others. So at that time, we allow it to be more personal to us then, if that is the space that we are operating in. So I'm going to embarrass another person here today because I value the gratitude journaling of Jules Sanchez. What she puts on Facebook, she's hiding, she put her hoodie on. But I smile deeply, Jules, every time I read. She puts down 5 or 6, just 1 or 2 words. And I read them and I saturate myself with her imagining what brought her to notice what she was grateful for. And I'm amused and inspired and awakened. She magnifies moments for me, moments that could just have gone by. And I get to celebrate by participating with her in reading what amuses her. She brings the emotion and life to what is, and I am lifted. So, my friend, I thank you. I thank you for that. It's a powerful practice, and when you put it on public display, it's contagious. Others can say, oh, I like dandelions growing through the cracks of sidewalks too. Oh, I like Fritos. You know, it could be whatever it is, and you realize the multiplicity of things that we can be grateful for. It goes on and on. It's never ending. It's a practice. It's a practice. And so we go to this practice when life feels good and we acknowledge that it's good, and we allow ourselves to recognize with a sense of humility and gratitude, a humbling, that we are linked up into a field of openness. And as we share that appreciation, we're holding ourselves up and we're realizing we're alive. We're passionate about life. The Centers for Spiritual Living bullet point reminds us our one life, this is our ultimate gift, and that we're here by divine appointment. When we know this to be true, then we've already received. Enlightened people know that their life has been given to them as sacred trust. They live in gratitude and confidence and then try to let the flow continue through them. They allow the flow to continue through them. The wisdom of Richard Rohr. So we become more and more in tune of giving thanks in advance, knowing that this good is flowing in and flowing out. It is circulating, and our sense of joy and appreciation allows us to release fear and doubt, unworthiness, or blame, or any other thing that can taint your consciousness. Gratitude comes, gratitude flows, and it sets the creative process in order. It sets things in motion. Because when we allow ourselves to really tap into that truth, that gratitude and appreciation itself isn't really changing anything outside of you. It's changing you. It's changing you, and that's what we want in our spiritual awakening. Change me, use me, change me. Get myself out of my own way. So I'm going to invite Judy up as we close with a prayer here, because in and of itself, remember, gratitude and appreciation is everything. Everything. So close your eyes, and as Jules would do, what's on your top list in this moment, from the moment you awoke today, can you imprint in your own heart and consciousness 5 gratitudes that come so sweetly? You allow that. You allow that to just be so automatic. And you smile inside, realizing, I am so grateful that I was awake to notice these blessings. As we follow the prayer of Shirley this morning and recognize, oh my gosh, Mount Shasta in her glory is reminding us all is well, all is well, all is cared for. It's all good. And as we watch the seedlings start to sprout, and we watch the tree limbs start to bud, we remember we too are budding into a new idea of ourselves. And we feel that sense of glory and appreciation of this divine truth ever flowing and saturating our every moment of life. So let us be still long enough to notice and know that being grateful is not necessarily in the words, thank you. It's in the breath you take when you say, oh my God, oh the beauty, oh the love, oh my, oh, ah. And we take another breath, and the cells of our being are saturated with that ever-flowing grace of life, that we are here to participate, to enjoy, and to welcome all the good that we are willing to receive, and then to give it back. So thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, nature. Thank you to all the wisdom teachers, to all the friends, to the family, to all the severe teachers, to all the ones that continue to turn our head and heart towards the one. I release this prayer knowing that we each take away what we need to grow today, to be our highest self. Thank you, thank you. And together we all say, and so it is. Thank you. And now we get to take this deeper by listening to the choir. Notice their message to you as they sing their hearts. Thank you.
Will the ushers please come forward? We are grateful for this, our spiritual home, the teachings that sustain us, and so we joyfully share our abundance, and so it is. This offering is a symbol of our gratitude. We give thanks for all that we have, for the teaching of this center and the truth that guides our lives. And so it is. Thank you.
I can see a nap for all of us this afternoon. So we get to have the joy of hearing another closing song by the Heart Songer Choir and enjoy having community time together in the social hall with the kitchen cookies. And don't forget to visit Phoebe at the back table in the back corner of the sanctuary will be where she is doing some of her book signing. And you don't want to miss that opportunity and have a chance to talk with her. She's getting to be quite a famous person, so you might not realize it. Sometimes we don't know who's in our own backyard. But come on forward, and our gratitude to you, to all of you. Thank you.
life gives me everything I need.
Yeah! Hallelujah! And what do we say? Thank you. Oh, have a blessed day. And if you need any prayer support, the practitioners are here in service to you always. Thank you.